Okay, as we can see, we're ready for Wednesday now. We've already done Monday and Tuesday, which means really all of the work for Wednesday is done. If we can count, we can do Wednesday. So I start up here, clauses. Tells me every clause has its own subject and verb. I had a subject and a verb and a subject and a verb. I almost definitely have two clauses. If I use my brain, I can see that I do. Okay, so an independent clause, every sentence has at least one independent clause. I know, so I have to have one. It stands alone or has a complete thought. The master had retired to rest. That is where I would split my sentence in half. This is the first clause. Does that make complete sense by itself? The master had retired to rest. If somebody said that to you, you wouldn't be waiting for them to finish their thought. So that is an independent clause. Now, we know that we labeled before with a subordinate conjunction. Coordinate conjunctions disappear and they're not part of either clause. All they're doing is joining. But before adds meaning because it tells us when we came in. So since it adds meaning to this sentence, it can't be separated from it, so you include it. And then when I come up, if somebody came up to you and said, before we came in, you would be waiting for them to finish what happened before we came in, right? So we know that is a dependent clause, and we need to figure out what kind of dependent clause. So if I look at here, I've got either an adverb dependent clause or an adjective dependent clause. This answers the adverb questions, right? Who, what, when, where. When, before we came in. So this is an adverb dependent clause. And I look at my help pages. I've got those done. Sentence type, simple, compound, complex, or compound complex. Can I count? I have more than one independent clause because I have two clauses. Two or more independent clauses. I do have two, but one's dependent. One independent, one or more dependent. That's what I have. So this is CX. And then I have the last thing. Declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory, question mark, exclamation point. The master had retired to rest before we came in is not a question, and I don't think you would say it with a strong feeling. So it's not an exclamation point. So it's got to be one of these two. Declarative or imperative, it depends. Is it giving an order or just giving us some information? That's an order, so that's declarative. And now Wednesday is finished.